Do you need a home inspection when you buy a condo? This is a question that I get asked a lot, especially with newer condos, but sometimes with condos in general, because inspections are actually limited when you get an inspection on a condo. They can only inspect the inside of the unit, with the exception of the exclusive use common areas, which would be the balconies. Those areas they will inspect also. And so a lot of people want to know if it's worth getting an inspection. Is it just okay to rely on the minutes and the depreciation report and all the information that you've obtained from your realtor? And the truth is, yes, it absolutely is. And I actually have a case study here that I had printed out of a horror story actually in existence, where a product called Kitek, it's a brand of PEX piping, and it was actually used for plumbing, water piping actually, and it has a history of leakage. So there was a class action lawsuit. They no longer make this PEX pipe anymore, but it was actually installed in a lot of buildings between 1995 and 2007. So that's a huge time span. And the problem with this piping is that it's buried in the walls. So you can't really see, but what you can do is hire a good inspector that is adverse to looking for signs, based on this, because the cost to remediate a piping or a repiping of a unit can be anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000. So it's pretty significant. So when an inspector goes through, like I said, they look at the common areas. They should be checking your electrical, your plumbing. I have a list of sort of the things that you want to make sure that you remind your inspector to check. And just listen, guys, just like realtors, there's good and bad inspectors out there. And so you want to make sure that your inspector has lots and lots of experience, especially in condos. Residential inspectors, can also do condos, but they really need to have a keen eye on what they're looking for. So they're going to spot things on the floors and the walls if they're sloped or worn. Cracked walls, that will suggest that there's maybe some structural issues in the building, or it could very well just be, settlement cracks that haven't been maintained. Cracked glass panels or screens, they're going to check your entries, all your doors, all your windows. They're going to make sure that there's no gaps or caulking missing in the tile work. They will check some of the exterior of the building, as well as usually they'll go into the garage parkade, into the electrical room if they have access. So that's another thing you want to ask your realtor, to make sure that they're going to provide access for the inspector so that they can check those areas as well. They want to make sure that there's enough water pressure, both in the hot and cold taps. Any foul smells that would determine whether or not there's any water damage of any kind that might be lurking in behind the walls, possibly from this piping. Another way you can obviously check if they use this piping is from the documents. So we'll get into that in a second. Electrical systems are the main thing that they look for, and the heating systems, HVAC filters, make sure that the ducts are cleaned and there's proper maintenance in the building, and they'll be able to report on that. So your inspector also will give you a report of how to do certain maintenance. A lot of people think that inspectors are only looking for what's wrong with a property, but in fact, they will give you a list of things to do to prevent things from happening as well. So if there's a small leak under your sink, you may be able to address it sooner so that it doesn't become a bigger problem. Or if there's moisture in behind the bathroom tiles, for example, there may be a leak that you're not aware of. I just had a client actually he had an inspection at his condo, and the bathroom plug didn't have GFI breaker. So basically what that means is that if something was plugged in and it touched water, which, the old story about blow drying your hair in the bathtub, it wouldn't kick out the electrical, so it could definitely be a hazard. So those are kind of things that they will point out that need to be changed, and they are for your benefit and safety. Generally, a condo inspection is cheaper than having a single family home inspection, so you can, pay anywhere from $300 and up, depending on the size of the unit. And of course, you want to read the minutes. Take a look at as many minutes as you can. Generally, we give out about 2 years worth of minutes. Read what the residents are saying. See if there's any repairs been done to the building, and or if they're deferring any repairs. If there's any ongoing litigations, conflict among the board and property members. In new properties, the owners are protected by the regulations, basically the Homeowner Warranty Protection Act. So you do get a warranty when you buy a new property. However, that's actually even more important to make sure that if there are any issues when you get your new property, that they're dealt with right away, because that warranty will expire, and then of course the issues haven't been dealt with. So make sure your inspector, checks the condition of the building properly. Some inspectors will even go through the documents. Not many will read all the minutes and documents. That's really up to your realtor and yourself to do. And of course, none of this will guarantee that there's not going to be an issue, of course. However, you can definitely eliminate a lot of them. I was quite surprised to hear about that flex pipe, and I'll definitely be watching out for it, as I'm sure you will. And if you're thinking about buying a condo, definitely get an inspection. So hopefully you found some of the information on inspections informative. Bye, everybody.